JEE had come up with the exam notification for the year 2022 in the last week. As part of that, we had done a series of lectures wherein we elaborated on how exactly you have to apply for that particular exam. We also discussed about some of the frequently asked questions about that particular exam. However, it's very important to note that there are lots of students who would be taking a year off and writing this once again. There will also be a lot of students who would be writing this after getting a lot of information or knowledge from their seniors. But interestingly, JEE does subtle or minute changes every year, which might go unnoticed. To avoid that, and because we do not want you people to go sit in the exam hall under the assumption that the exam would be the same as 2021, we are coming up with this particular video, wherein we will discuss about the changes that has been brought about by NTA specifically in this year. We'll be dealing with JEE paper 2A specifically. So if there are any questions, doubts and all that you have, please do not hesitate to ask. We would be responding. I'll be taking up those questions from the live chat box and I will be responding. Hello everyone, this is Suraj and you are with THiNC Institute of Design. To start off with, one of the most important changes that has been done is regarding the negative markings in both section A and section B. So JEE paper has three parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 1 had mathematics part in it, out of which part 1 had section A and section B. Section A was MCQ questions, which obviously had negative marks. But from this year onwards, section B also would be having negative marks. What is the section B? It basically contains questions which have to be answered numerically. So you need to do the math and you need to enter the values. So section B also from this year onwards would be having negative markings. Please note that. There was some confusion regarding this because of the words that were being used in the information bulletin. Interestingly, a few days ago, JEE had come up with a clarification regarding the same. So they've categorically mentioned in the notice that was released on the 3rd of March that there would be negative markings in section B also. So that part is, I hope, sorted out. The next thing that has to be noted is regarding the section B part itself. So in section B, basically you will need to enter the values. That is like, for example, your answer might be 47.18 or 49.23. That's how it used to happen till the last year. But from this year onwards, they have rounded it off to the nearest integer. That basically means if the answer is, let's say, 47.8, it would be rounded off to 48. So it will be a integer that would be the answer from this year onwards, or probably from this year. That is the second change. So section B is having major amount of changes, and please note that there would be 10 questions, out of which 5 of the questions you have to answer. You will be given the options to answer. The next thing that you need to note is, as part of COVID, they used to do a lot of boards were doing a lot of syllabus reductions. So as part of that, NTA has decided to provide choices in the sections of paper 2A. So for every question that you get in the section A, you will get one OR question. So that is something which is taken considering the COVID pandemic. Last year also, there were a lot of initiatives that were taken as part of the COVID pandemic. This is the third change that they have brought about. The fourth change that they have brought about is more than a change. It's something that has to be taken care of while filling the registration forms. This was addressed while we were giving our live demo of how to fill the registration forms. There is no correction window that would be provided. So please fill the application forms with utmost care and ensure that you're giving information which is to the best of your knowledge, because once you've submitted something, you won't be able to change it. So please ensure that there are no mistakes that are being included. Okay. Let's go to that will be the fourth point. Let's go to the fifth change. Now, last year, the eligibility criteria of minimum requirement of 50% in physics, chemistry, maths, and all was taken off due to COVID. Even though it was not in their information bulletin, later on, there was a notice that was published saying that the minimum percentage criteria is not required. This year also, the minimum criteria is just a pass in the qualifying examination with physics, chemistry, and mathematics. We are talking about Bachelor of Architecture, B.Arch. So if you want to get into B.Arch in NITs, IIITs, and CFTIs, then you need to qualify the examination with maths, physics, and chemistry. Obviously, when we're talking about B.Arch, it's NITs and CFTIs. Okay. However, please note that as per Council of Architecture, to get into the BR course, other than NITs and CFTIs, you need to have a 50% marks in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. We need to wait for this to get a bit more clarity. We will have to wait for Council of Architecture's this year's notification, the nata exams notification, and all to get a bit more clarity. Now, because we're dealing with JEE paper 2 here, and because it's dealing with NITs and CFTIs and all, the eligibility criteria is that you just need to have a pass in the 12th standard or the similar qualifying examination. Now, choice of examination cities. This is something that will be decided based on your permanent address and the correspondence address that you will be filling up. It's not like you can probably, let's say, leave in Karnataka and write the exam in Gujarat. So you will have to take care of what's your permanent address and correspondence address, and with respect to that, you'll be given the choices of examination cities. Please note that point also. Now, regarding session 1 and session 2, what is session 1 and session 2? We had discussed in the previous video. Basically, it is 2 attempts. First session means first attempt, which should be conducted in the month of April, and the second session means the second attempt, which should be conducted in the month of May. So as said earlier, you will have to apply for both of that separately. There are separate dates that are given. So currently what you can apply for is session 1 or attempt 1. Once you have done that, from the 8th of April, as you can see in this particular screen that has been shared, from the 8th of April to the 3rd of May, you will be given time to submit the application form for session 2, or what's also called as the attempt 2. You cannot apply to both of them together. This is a question that has come from Abhinav. What is the size of drawing sheet provided? If my memory serves me correct, it is A4. Okay. Any other questions, queries, and all those who are watching, please do not hesitate to ask that in the chat box. Okay. Now, regarding international examination cities, last year, I think there was an examination center in Bahrain. They couldn't conduct the first exam, the first session, and there was a lot of issues and all related to that. So they've removed Bahrain. There are also some other cities that has been added. So let's say, for example, Manama, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Lagos, and all. You can go through that, and corresponding to which city you belong to or which is the nearest, you can apply that. So there are some additions with respect to the international cities that has come up. Okay. Now, this point again was highlighted once, but I don't think it's enough to highlight just once, because the kind of calls, the kind of panic calls that we used to get during the counseling times was huge with respect to this very small, minute, simple mistake. Please give the email IDs and mobile numbers which you use regularly. Please give those mobile numbers wherein you will have message receiving facility. Do not give those mobile numbers wherein you won't get the messages at all, because OTPs are something that you're going to use for the next 6 to 8 months in this particular entire process of admissions. Even in JOSA, C7, or you're going to use the same number, and they don't have a very easy system of changing the number. So please ensure that your email ID, the mobile number that you're using and all is something that is very active. Next point is regarding the annual family income. This is something that seems to have been introduced this year. So whatever is the annual family income that you have, you can opt to that to the best of your knowledge. Probably in the next round and all, you will have to also provide supporting documents if you are going to claim any particular, let's say, scholarship or fee waiver or anything of that sort. Regarding scribe, it's to be noted that NTA will be providing scribe for all the eligible candidates. There won't be a provision wherein you can bring your own scribe. They would allocate a particular scribe provided you are eligible. Now, last time also DigiLocker was something that was extensively used because a lot of the boards hadn't published their mark list. So that is where apps like Umang, DigiLocker and all would be coming to be of extremely high use to download the documents that are required and to upload and things like that. So all these documents which are available in DigiLocker and all would be accepted by NTA. Let's say, for example, a scenario comes wherein your board mark list are not there with you. So what's the best way to upload? You can use the Umang and DigiLocker facilities and all. Clarity about this would come up in the subsequent days that are coming up. They would bring in a little bit more clarity on how exactly to use those and things like that. Okay. Again, Sandesh app is an app wherein you will be getting a lot of notifications from the NTA. So you can download it and keep it so that you will get further notifications and things like that. Okay. So mostly these were some of the updates and the slight changes, subtle changes that they have brought about with respect to 2021. Okay. Please ensure that you have very good clarity about all these things, especially the points that we had talked about in the beginning. That is, let's say, section B. Section B having negative marks, section B having integers only as their answers and things like that. Okay, so please be absolutely sure about all these subtle changes that has come up and practice accordingly. Practice with the timer, practice section A and section B separately, practice mathematics, practice drawing every day with the timer and things like that. Okay, so that would be it from THiNC Institute of Design. The next batches are starting from the 9th of March. For everyone who wants to join or contact us, even if you have any issues in filling the form, if you want us to fill the form, we'll definitely do it for you. Please contact us at 8086 111 It's something that we are doing out of free service. So any confusions, clarity, because once you do it and submit it, you won't be able to change it. So this is something that could define the next 5 years of your life. So if you have any issues, doubts with respect to how to fill the form and all, please do not hesitate. Please do get to us. Okay, we would only be happy to help you. So that would be it from THiNC Institute of Design until we see in the next session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, host.